I made over $137,000 from dropshipping, but it wasn't always like this. Let me explain. I want to tell you exactly how I went from mowing lawns at 13 years old to launching countless failed online stores by 19, and then finally cracking the code that made me over $100,000 with just one product. And no, it wasn't a winning ad, a secret supplier, or viral luck. It just came down to one thing that most beginners ignore. So stick around to the end because I'm going to walk you through every step, including the exact turning point that changed everything for me. In order to tell this story, I need to go back to when I was 13 years old and I started my first business. Nothing online, it wasn't anything techy, it was just a lawnmower and some cheap flyers that I printed out. I knocked on every door in my neighborhood and offered to mow lawns for $10. Most people said no, but after a while, some people said yes, and I made sure that those lawns were absolutely perfect. Edges cleaned, sidewalks swept, I even left handwritten thank you notes sometimes. And then something weird happened. See, neighbors actually started to call me instead of their lawn guys. That's when I learned my first real business truth. People don't always choose the cheapest, they choose who they trust. Remember that because it's the exact mindset that I actually used years later to build a premium dropshipping store that outsold everyone. So by the time I was 15 years old, I was obsessed with making money online. I tried everything from day trading to Amazon FBA. Day trading, I ended up blowing over $3,000 over the course of 3 months. With Amazon FBA, I got stuck with inventory and supplier headaches. I even tried print on demand and spent hours designing shirts that no one bought. I was chasing shiny objects, and I failed a lot. But each failure taught me a little more about how online buyers behave, what makes a product look cheap versus premium, and why most Shopify stores feel like scams. And eventually, I found dropshipping. Low startup cost, I could test it fast, and there was no inventory needed. And I made a promise to myself, I'm not leaving until this works. So I started launching stores, a lot of them. I tested around 24 products before I found one winner. But let's be real, some of them I gave up on in 3 days. Others I built full stores around. I'm talking custom logos, Instagram pages, and even email flows, only to get 3 visitors and 0 sales. Sound familiar? Sometimes I made 1 sale, got excited, and then nothing. I had a real skill for building nice looking stores that no one bought from, and that's where I made my biggest breakthrough. You see, it's not about how your store looks so much as it's about how your store sells, and there's a huge difference. Let me show you what I mean. One night, I was scrolling on TikTok and I saw a product blowing up. It was a portable pet water bottle. Clean design, easy to use, solved a real problem. But the sellers were lazy. You see, they had generic product descriptions, no branding, no story, and that's when I decided to do something different. Instead of selling it at $9.99 like everyone else, I wanted to build a real store around it. This is where it all changed for me. See, I designed a high converting Shopify store using everything that I learned from my past failures. And here is exactly what I focused on. Number 1, buyer psychology. I asked, what problem is this solving? Not how do I list this fast? Number 2 was premium positioning. Instead of pricing it at $9.99, I priced my product at $29.99. I added some custom packaging, I wrote a dog owner care guide as a free bonus, and I made it feel like a brand instead of just a product. And number 3 was conversion focused design. Clean layout, no distractions, social proof above the fold, benefits over features, one call to action, no clutter. That store changed literally everything about how I view dropshipping. So after I built my Shopify store, I decided to launch a few test ads with a $200 budget just to see if the store would convert. My results? Well, within the first 48 hours, I made $1,182 in sales. By the end of the first week, I ended off with $3,900 in sales, and by the end of the first month, I made nearly $20,000 in sales. By my 3rd month, I managed to crack over $100,000. Now, my total profit within that entire period was somewhere around the ballpark of $40,000. The wildest part? I didn't change the product at all. I didn't scale 10 ads, and I didn't even go viral. I just made it ridiculously easy for people to buy. I see beginners launch stores all the time that make the same mistakes that I made in my first 10 launches. You see, they have too many products, generic design, product pages are filled with features but no emotion. They have free shipping pop-ups that don't build any trust, and no understanding of buyer psychology. And the truth is that no ad can fix a broken store. If your store doesn't convert, it doesn't matter how good your product is, you're just going to be wasting money, and you're essentially paying for traffic to leave your store. See, I don't teach TikTok ads, and I'm not selling a course on winning products. What I do is one thing, and I do it well. You see, I help beginners build high converting Shopify stores that are designed to sell from day one. Not look pretty, not go viral, but sell. My private community is built for beginners who have no experience, don't know what makes a store convert, and want to stop guessing. Inside, I walk you through the exact layout that I use for every product, how to turn a basic listing into a premium offer, and where trust breaks and how to fix it. You see, you don't need to be a tech genius, you don't need to have a product, you don't even need to go viral. You just need to build a store that makes people say, I trust this, I need this, and I'm buying this right now. So if you're ready to stop wasting time and finally build a store that actually works, well then I want you to click the link below and join the community.